Welcome to Mimesis, the podcast about all the twisted ways that art and life imitate each other. I'm Sandra Sheriff Zackerly.
And I'm Stacey Rourke.
And we are your host on this zany adventure.
Yes, we are. Dun, dun, dun. How's your adventure going?
It's going. My lovely child got me sick.
Again.
So, again.
That's what happens when you have them at that age. They are little germ magnets.
Yeah, completely.
You would think it's when they get older, but no.
Nope. It's them because they touch their noses and they don't wash their hands and they touch everything. Like, I'm just going to wipe my hand across this wall and then I'm going to lick my fingers.
Gross.
I don't know if that's what he did, but I'm just saying that's what kids do.
Well, and they lick weird crap, like licking the handle of the shopping cart. I don't know how many times Madeline did that. And I'm like, dude, gross.
Stop doing that.
Yeah, that's how she developed, what is it? Foot and mouth
disease.
Yeah, she caused an outbreak of that in her school.
My kid has not caused an outbreak of anything yet.
Yeah. That was we called her the Outbreak. You remember the monkey from the movie Outbreak?
Yeah.
I was like, you're our little outbreak monkey.
That's funny.
Notice went out to the school.
That makes me think of Marcel, Pandemic.
Yep. She was our little outbreak monkey. Oh, goodness. But you're feeling better now?
I am, yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was such a great segue and I cut you off. Yes. Speaking of friends, we are leaving for OUAB in just a few days.
Yep. I will be down to Florida to pick you up, to drive you back up here.
You're not driving me. We're driving together.
I know.
Make it sound like you're chauffeuring me.
I'm not.
No, you're not. Unless you want to. I mean, I won't say no.
Get some work done.
That would be great. I'm behind on deadlines, and I've already told my editor once that, it's probably going to be the end of August, and now I'm like, possibly September. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. Do you have your costume ready yet? Did you figure out what you're going to do?
No. I have two options. The one is to dress up as the chef, Monica.
Yes, love that.
Or dress up as, do you remember when the air conditioning went out and she had that gray dress with the black tights and she's sitting in the fridge? I have that dress as an option too.
That's cute. That's cute.
So I haven't decided exactly which.
Well, I have decided I'm doing a costume change during the dinner. There's going to be a costume change. I'm going to come in one look, like a funny look, but I am not going to continue the funny look because the funny look is really uncomfortable. Yeah. So I'm going to come in, we'll have a few laughs, we'll do the intro, and then I'll go change into my amazing dress.
I guessed right. I got to see it.
Yes, you guessed right. I'm so excited. And the other one, I think you know the other one. The other one is the one I was going to do originally. I'm going to come in with that look, but I'm not going to continue with that because it's itchy.
It's itchy. Yeah.
It's itchy. I don't like it.
Yeah. So we have lots of cons happening.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Right after that. Well, not right after that. It's
about a month.
Yeah. We're going to Dragon Con. And a good friend of mine, Jennifer, she hosts the oh my God, what the heck? Space Coast book event.
Okay.
Is that right? Space Coast? Yes. She is also one of the volunteers that helps out with Dragon Con. And she talked to me last night about all the things that there is to do and to look forward to. Apparently Thursday night, at Dragon Con, they do almost like a ball drop ceremony where you go to this one bar and they count down to midnight because that's what kicks off Dragon Con. And then like midnight comes and everybody like screams and there's this big loud cheer. And then like Dragon Con is officially launched. Which,
well, that's awesome.
Yeah. She said there's that to do. She told me where the authors hang out. I know the bar to go to hang out with the authors. Yeah.
I like bars.
Yes.
I don't drink, but I like bars.
I do drink and I like bars. But she told me where that is. And then she got me the hookup for an author signing that I had not signed up for. So I can actually sell my books for, it's not the whole weekend, but there's like an allotted time and it works like around my panels where I can just like have books there for a little bit that'll be available. All sorts of stuff. And I have people contacting me about what panels I want to be on. And
fun.
Yeah, she was telling me about the panel discussions. And she was saying that I needed to sign up for more. And I had a lady that contacted me. And I probably shouldn't say this on air because people will be like, why did you agree to it? But you know, like when you're an actor and they tell you, if they ask you if you can do something, just say yes and figure it out later.
Yeah.
Well, she was like, hey, have you watched the shows based on Anne Rice books, Mayfair Witches, and the Interview with the Vampire series? Now, I watched the movie. I hadn't seen the show yet, but I love Anne Rice. So I was like, yes, I've seen them. I love them. They're great. And she was like, would you like to sit on a panel? And I was like, if you need me, sure. That'd be. So as soon as I agreed to that, I was like, well, I got to go watch those shows. So I watched Mayfair Witches. It's absolutely amazing. And I'm watching Interview with a Vampire now, and it's so good. So good. Like, the movie was okay. The series is just so good. So,
yeah.
Now I'm glad that I volunteered to do this.
I'm excited. The panels sound really great.
Yeah. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, you know, we might
I'm
have
nervous
to get
about the
some
panel that I'm going to be on.
Yes, you are going to be on a panel at Once Upon a Book.
I am. Talking about
You'll be
podcast.
fine.
I'll be fine.
You'll be
Maybe
fine.
I'll launch a podcast right then and there. Show them how easy it is.
There you go. This is how you do it. Come here.
Yeah.
We're going to be like, we're going to record a little mini snippet and you're all going to watch how easy this is to do.
Yeah. This is how you can expand your brand.
Yep.
I'm really excited about what we got going on the next few months.
We have a lot happening. We have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Big things.
Yeah.
And I've been kind of, I do blurbs for people on the side. And it's something I've been doing for years. And you know how sometimes the universe like sets you up that something new is something bigger's coming? Yeah. I've had steady business for 2 years and now all of a sudden it's really slowing down and I feel like I don't feel panicky about it because I feel like something big is about to happen. So
bring on the big lucrative adventures.
That's what I'm sending out into the universe.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we talking about today, ma'am?
Today we are talking about Catch Me If You Can. And Frank, I can never pronounce his name right. Abagnale?
Abagnale. There you go. Well, I don't know much about the man, but I know the movie was fantastic.
The movie was really good. I think Leonardo DiCaprio did a really good job at portraying him, even though Frank says he did not do a good job.
Really?
He did not like the movie. Yeah.
Why?
Because he says it was not close enough. Because if they really wanted to do a movie about his life, they would show him in jail for most of his teen years.
Okay. So he thinks they glamorized it a little too much.
Yes.
Okay, I can see that. That almost sounds like a man that does kind of regret his choices.
I think a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, he spent years in jail and prison.
Well, maybe, just maybe, he learned from his mistakes.
Maybe he does, yeah. So the movie starts in 1969. FBI agent Carl Handratty arrives in France to pick up a prisoner named Frank Abagnale Jr., who became ill due to the prison conditions. 6 years earlier, Frank Abagnale Jr. lives in New Rochelle, New York, with his father Frank Abagnale Sr. and his French mother Paula. During his youth, he witnessed his father's many techniques for conning people.
Oh.
Like, he witnessed his father try and get him a suit to go and open this bank account.
Okay.
In the beginning of the movie. And he, like, pulls out this, like, necklace, like, this is yours, you dropped it.
Oh, I remember that. Yep. I remember that from the movie. Yep.
And it really wasn't hers.
Okay.
So, because of Frank Sr.'s tax problems with the IRS, the family is forced to move to a small apartment. So one day, Frank discovers that his mother is having an affair with Jack Barnes, his father's friend from the Rotary Club. And when his parents divorce, Frank runs away.
Okay. He was heartbroken. I get it.
He was. Yes.
Hey, you heard me.
In real life, his parents separated when he was 12 and divorced when he was 15.
Okay.
So they had already been separated before they were forced to move.
All right. Okay. But was she having an affair?
I did not find anything about that.
Okay.
But she did leave.
Man, they made her look like she was stepping out, and we don't even know for sure.
Right. Right. After the divorce, Abagnale moved in with his father into the new apartment with his new stepmother to Mount Vernon, New York.
Okay.
So, in the movie and in real life, needing money, he turns to scams to survive, and his cons grow bigger and bolder.
He took all kinds of risks. I mean, and the confidence you have to do to, like, throw yourself into that.
All kinds of risk. Like, we'll get into it right now.
Okay.
So, his first con was against his father.
Oh.
Yep.
The student becomes the master.
Yep. His first victim was his father, who gave him a gasoline credit card and a truck, and was ultimately liable for a bill amounting $3,400. Oh. At the age of 15.
Can you imagine?
He scammed.
The way you would want to throttle your child.
Yeah. Yeah. You are getting a job right now, and you are paying every dime of this back.
Yep. Yep. This is not, I just hit my mic. I'm sorry. This is not me. This is not, I'm not the one paying this. That's going to be you.
Yeah. Absolutely not. Yeah. Mm-mm. I'm not going into debt because of your ass.
Yeah. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Fuck around and find out.
Exactly. That's the definition of it.
Yeah. Like, at 15, really? Like, that's still, like, that blows my mind, too.
Yeah. That he would think of, and what were you doing with that money at 15?
He was putting money into his gas tank and driving around everywhere and anywhere.
Where were you going?
And how cheap gas was back then? Like, you had to been driving forever.
Yeah.
Right.
That reminds me, did you ever see the movie Reality Bites with Winona Ryder? It was like, it came out in the 90s. It was a huge 90s cult classic.
I don't think so. No, that doesn't sound familiar.
No? Well, in the movie, her dad wouldn't give her money, but he gave her a gas card. So she would go up to strangers and be like, hey, let me fill up your gas tank and put it on my card, and you can just give me the cash equivalent. So she, like, blew up this gas card.
Oh, maybe he was doing that, yeah.
Yeah. So he could get the money in exchange. Maybe that could be it, too.
Yeah.
Oh, $3,000.
Yeah.
Okay, did Dad catch him?
I'm pretty sure of it.
Okay.
Because then after that, in 1964, at the age of 16, he enlisted in the United States Navy. He was discharged only after 2 months, and in less than 2 weeks after that, he was arrested for petty larceny in Mount Vernon.
Oh my gosh.
This is only a few months after the credit card fraud.
And he's escalating things quickly.
So this is what, January of 65?
Yeah.
The following month, he pretended to be a Scarsdale police officer. He entered an apartment of a Mount Vernon resident, claiming that he was investigating her teenage daughter.
Oh, sir.
Yeah. I mean, he was a teenager himself, but no. We don't play those games.
What are you doing?
Yeah, suspicious. The mom called the Mount Vernon police, who found Abagnale with a toy gun and a paper police badge.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. The balls on this kid.
Yeah. I'm just going to impersonate whoever I want.
It's fine.
So, he was arrested for that after being identified in a lineup by the victim. The following day, Abagnale was ordered by the court to be committed to Grassland Psychiatric Institute.
Oh.
So they thought he was crazy. Because he's trying to pull all this stuff. Yeah.
And there might have been something behind that.
Yeah. But he didn't stay long. Because in June, so that was January, by June, the FBI arrested Abagnale in Eureka, California.
Oh my gosh. For what?
For car theft.
Why would the FBI arrest somebody for that?
Because of the blank checks that he stole.
Oh.
So that's where he actually, the movie got it right.
Yeah.
He did steal blank checks.
And he's escalating so quickly.
Yes. Abagnale was pictured in the local newspaper, seated in a car, being questioned by Special Agent Richard Miller of the FBI. He had financed his cross-country trip from New York to California with blank checks he's stolen from a family business located in the Bronx River. Abagnale was also charged for impersonating a U.S. Customs official, although this charge was subsequently dropped. On July 2nd, the stolen car case was transferred to Southern District of New York because that's where it started at.
Yeah.
He stole the car in New York, drove it all the way to California.
Wow. How old is he? He's a teenager still.
16.
Oh
16.
Wow.
And has already been arrested 3 times, put in a psychiatric place. That's why I think he said it glamorized his life in the movie, because he spent most of his teenage years in some kind of detention.
Yeah. And they didn't show that. Wow.
Not at all.
Holy crap.
Yeah. And it just keeps going. That's only
tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. So back to the movie. He impersonates a Pan Am pilot named Frank Taylor and forges the airline payroll checks. Soon his forgeries are worth millions of dollars.
Oh my gosh.
News of the crime reaches the FBI, and Agent Carl Handratty begins tracking Frank. Carl finds him at a hotel, but Frank tricks Carl into believing he is a Secret Service agent named Barry Allen, which is really freaking hilarious.
Yes,
when they place it, when they pinpoint it together, and it comes out that the Flash. I laughed at that so hard.
That's awesome. And it proves that he still has a teenage mentality, that's where he went with it.
Yeah. Because they were looking for some guy, but as soon as he said the comic books, they're like, wait a second. This has to be a younger person than what we were thinking.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So clever.
He is. Super clever. He escapes before Carl realizes that he has been fooled. Frank begins to impersonate a doctor. as Dr. Frank Connors, he falls in love with Brenda, a naive young hospital nurse, who is played by Amy Adams. I love her.
Yes. Yes. We love her. We love everything that she's ever been in.
Yes. Especially Enchanted.
Yes.
That's my favorite.
It's so good.
He asked her attorney father for her hand in marriage and also for her help with arranging to take the Louisiana State bar exam.
Okay.
I lost my place. Okay. Which Frank passes. Carl tracks Frank to his and Brenda's engagement party, but Frank escapes through a bedroom window, telling Brenda to meet him at the Miami International Airport 2 days later. At the airport, Frank spots Brenda, but also plainclothes agents. He realizes she has given him up, and he drives away. So knowing that they're all over swarming the airport, he does what he knows best, and he resumes his pilot identity. He stages a false recruiting drive for a stewardess at a local college. Surrounded by 8 women as stewardess, he conceals himself from Carl and the other agents at the airport and escapes from a flight to Madrid. So back to real life. Paul Holson, a student at the time, Abagnale conducted a physical examination on several female college students who wanted to be part of flight crews. I have to redo that whole thing because I skipped ahead.
Okay.
A whole bunch. That I was like, I'm almost done. That's not right. Okay, Alrighty. So Madrid, Spain. Okay. So in real life, I just skipped over like 5 years of stuff.
Let's go back in time. It'll be fun.
Yeah. So after being released into the custody of his father to face for the stolen car charges, 17-year-old Abagnale decided to impersonate a pilot. He obtained a uniform at a Manhattan uniform company, purchased with the money he obtained from the forgery of checks, and on July 7, 1965, informed local media that he was a graduate of the American Airline Pilot School in Fort Worth, Texas. But he was arrested for theft of checks in New York days later. Like, he really was so bold that he went out in front of the media and was like, yep, I'm a graduate from the American Airlines.
That's so scary. It's so scary. He didn't actually ever fly a plane, did he?
Yeah. I don't think so, no. Nothing that I saw he actually flew a plane.
Okay, good. Because that's terrifying to me. Like, oh, okay.
That's scary that you can...
Yeah, sit in the jump seat. That's one thing, but don't actually try to fly it.
Right. Like, how many people pretended to be other things, like, that didn't get caught?
Ugh. I don't want to think about that. That's scary.
Like, doctors and, like, just the confidence that he must have had to just be like, yep, and everybody was like, okay, I believe you.
That's too much confidence. There is such thing as too much confidence.
Yeah. So Abagnale was sentenced to 3 years at the Great Meadow Prison in Comstock, New York, for those stolen checks.
Okay.
After serving only 2 years of his sentence, because, you know, let's let you out on good behavior, he was released into the custody of his mother. But he broke the terms of his parole with another stolen car conviction from Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh my gosh, he does not learn from his mistakes.
Not at all. They should have locked away the key. Put him away, lock him up, you're done.
Yeah. You cannot be rehabilitated.
Yeah, not at all. And then he was returned to Great Meadows for another year. So after his release on December 24th, 1968, this point he is 20 years old.
And he's already been in and out of prison.
In and out of prison. Yeah. Abagnale disguised himself as a TWA pilot and moved to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where he talked his way into the house of a local music teacher whose daughter was a Delta Airlines stewardess he had met in New York. In Baton Rouge, Abagnale befriended a local minister and claimed he had a master's degree in social work from Ithaca College.
Oh my gosh.
And sought work with the vulnerable youth with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
Oh, wow. Where did he even come up with this shit?
I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
It's crazy
to
think that he did all of this stuff.
Imagine if he would have used his mental abilities for good, like what he could have accomplished.
Yeah. So the Reverend introduced him to Louisiana State University faculty member who determined that he was an obvious phony. So he got caught.
Good.
Again.
Good.
The Reverend, after Abagnale had told him that he was a furloughed TWA pilot, became suspicious and called the airline, which informed him that Abagnale was a fraud.
Oh.
The Reverend notified the Baton Rouge Police Department, and Abagnale was arrested on February 14th, 1969. Initially on vagrancy charges? I think that's how you pronounce it. Upon his arrest, he was found to have illegally driven his Florida rental car out of the state and to possess falsified airline employee identification. Wow. And he was in possession of falsified airline identifications.
That's some serious shit, too.
Yeah. And they still didn't lock him up.
No. They're like, you'll stop eventually.
Like, yeah, this is not just a slap on the wrist kind of thing. Like, this man has proven time and time again that he doesn't care. He's going to do whatever he wants, and he's going to fraud whoever he wants.
Yep. This is a habit that he's not intending to break anytime soon.
Not at all.
No.
The following day, detectives determined that Abagnale had stolen blank checks from his host family and a local business in Baton Rouge, and he was subsequently charged with theft and forgery. Unable to make bail, he was convicted on June 2nd, 1969, and he was sentenced to 12 years of supervised probation. Probation.
Yeah, you don't think he can get around that? All the things that he's accomplished?
Right. And, of course, because they only put him on probation and not into jail, he fled to Europe.
Of course he did. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
2 weeks after the Louisiana bench warrant was issued, Abagnale was arrested in Montpellier, France, in September of 1969. He had stolen an automobile and defrauded 2 local families in Sweden. He was sentenced to 4 months for theft in France, though he served only 3 months in prison. Like, why is he not doing his full sentences?
Like, maybe just look at his track record. Look at his track record.
Yeah.
This is not a first-time offender.
Yeah.
No. Wow.
He was then extradited to Sweden. So at least he went from France to Sweden, and where he was convicted of gross fraud by forgery. He served 2 months in prison there, was banned from Sweden for 8 years, and was required to compensate his Swedish victims, which he allegedly failed to do.
He got banned from the entire country.
From the entire country, he got banned. Yes.
They were like, no, you can go. It's fine.
Yeah. Yep, we don't want you here. You can take your crimes back to the U.S.
Yep. Sweden doesn't want you.
Nope. He tried to appeal, but it failed in June of 1970 after he was deported back. I realized that we're going to have to kind of turn this into 2 episodes because I have quite a bit more information to go. And I don't want to make it super long. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to cut it there?
Yeah, we'll cut it there.
Okay.
And we'll get to the point of his mother and how France and then like what he did with later of his life. And how he
all right
actually turned it around.
Good for him. He used his powers for good for a little while.
His frontal lobe finally became developed
Matured.
enough that he's like, oh, okay.
I would like to not continue to get arrested.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to stop for today, right? And we're going to do the next for part 2.
Yes.
Which I'm very excited about, and how he gets brought down for once and for all. Yes. I'm still going over my ideas for my next episode, and would love to hear from any of you if you have some ideas of things you would like me to cover. Sandra, where can the nice people contact us?
You can contact us. Contact us at I almost said Once Upon a Book. I've got like Once Upon a Book on my brain, and I've been
me too.
So on that I almost gave that website.
Well, I mean, they can go there too, but they won't find Mamisa's stuff there.
No. Well, I mean, they will if they come and see us in Michigan.
Yes, there they will, not on the website. We're confusing people even more by trying to explain this.
I know. Okay. So the Mimesis podcast at Facebook, Instagram. You can email us at the mimesispodcast@gmail.com. Those are all the ways that you can get a hold of us.
Awesome. We also have our tip jar up. If you want to support the show, help us grow, help us expand, want to throw a few pennies at us here and there, where can they do that at?
That one is mimesis.captivate.fm/support. And there is preset buttons, or you can just give a one-time tip of whatever you would like.
Perfect. You can also help us out by continuing to listen and leave us a review on any platform that you listen on. Reviews are key, so yes, we appreciate them.
Reviews are key. We really do. And you might even get us to respond back to you. No, you will get us to respond back to you.
Yeah, you will. We absolutely will.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for this episode.
Yes. Until next time.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Mimesis.
If you enjoy this podcast, by all means, tell your friends about it and give us a review on whatever platform you listen on.
We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks.